Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Lit Stories. My name is John. Today, we begin another calm and powerful journey together. We will explore the summary of the book The Psychology of Money, one of the most famous books in the world, read by millions of people and responsible for shaping many lives. This journey is not only about learning English, it is also about success, growth, and understanding life. The author of this famous book, The Psychology of Money, is Morgan Housel. From the name of the book, you might think this is only a book about money, but very quickly you will discover that this book is about much more than money. It talks about powerful ideas, such as how we make decisions, why emotions guide our choices, the role of patience and time, why behavior matters more than intelligence, and how small decisions shape long-term success. These ideas are not only important for money, they are important for life. And they are also very important for learning English. In this series, we will take these powerful ideas and apply them directly to your English learning journey. You will learn how to make better learning decisions, how to stay patient when progress feels slow, how to build confidence step by step, and how calm, consistent behavior leads to fluency. I will explain everything in simple, clear, real-life English. The language will begin gently and safely. Then, step by step, it will become a little richer. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to be perfect. Just listen. Just stay with the ideas. As you listen, your English is already improving. And over time, these ideas will guide you in the right direction and help you become a confident and fluent speaker of English. Now, let us begin our journey into the psychology of money. Let me ask you a question. What does the word psychology really mean? Psychology means the study of the mind. It is about thoughts, feelings, fears, and desires. So when we say the psychology of money, we're talking about how the human mind behaves around money. But the deeper message of the book is this. Money decisions are not mathematical problems. They are human problems. This means that people do not always act logically. They act emotionally. They act based on fear, hope, pride, stress, past experiences. This idea is very important because it explains why people who know a lot can still make bad decisions. Why knowledge alone is not enough. Many people believe that success comes from being smart. They think, if I know more, I will do better. But life shows us something different. Very intelligent people sometimes lose all their money, make risky decisions, and panic at the wrong moment. Why does this happen? Because knowledge lives in the brain, but decisions live in emotions. When emotions become strong, logic becomes quiet. This is true for money, and it's also true for learning English. You may know grammar rules. You may understand many words, but when you feel nervous, afraid, embarrassed, your English suddenly disappears. So the problem is often not knowledge. The problem is behavior and emotion. Behavior is shaped by life experience. One of the strongest ideas in the book is this. Everyone has a different relationship with money. Why? Because everyone has a different life story. Some people grew up with very little money. They learned to be careful and afraid of losing it. Some people grew up with comfort. They learned to take risks easily. Neither is right or wrong. They simply learned different behaviors. Money behavior is learned, not inherited. And the same is true for English learning. Some learners were encouraged. Some were corrected gently. Some were laughed at. Some were punished for mistakes. These experiences shape how you feel today. If you feel shy speaking English, it doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means your past experiences taught your brain to be careful. Why comparing yourself is dangerous. The author gives a gentle warning. Comparing yourself to others often leads to bad decisions. Why? Because when you compare your full life to someone else's result. You do not see their struggles, their support, their timing, their luck. You only see success. This creates pressure. Pressure creates stress. Stress creates poor decisions. This happens with money, and it happens with English learning. You see someone speaking fluently. You feel behind. You feel discouraged. But you do not see their years of practice. Your journey is different. Your pace is different. And that's okay. Success is quiet and slow. Another important idea in the book is about time. Success rarely arrives loudly. It grows quietly, slowly, step by step. Most people notice success only at the end. They do not see the long period of patience. This is very important for English learners. You may feel your English is not improving, but understanding is growing. Your ear is learning sounds. Your brain is learning patterns. Progress is happening even when you can't see it yet. Behavior matters more than intelligence. Here is one of the strongest messages of the book. Long-term success depends more on behavior than on intelligence. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be calm. You do not need to know everything. You need to stay consistent. For English learning, this is powerful. Calm listening every day is stronger than stressful studying once a week. Kind behavior towards yourself is stronger than strict rules. A simple story to understand this idea. Imagine two people. The first knows many rules, but panics when things go wrong. The second knows fewer rules, but stays calm and patient. Over time, the second person does better. Why? Because calm behavior protects progress. This is true with money, and it's true with language learning. Luck, chance, and control. The author also speaks about luck. Luck means things outside our control. Where we are born, who we meet, timing. Luck matters. But focusing only on luck can make us feel powerless. So the book teaches balance. Accept that luck exists, but focus on what you can control. Your behavior, your habits, your patience. This mindset creates peace. What you can control as an English learner. You cannot control your past mistakes or other people's speed. But you can control listening today, being patient, being kind to yourself. This calm approach makes learning stronger and more enjoyable. A gentle pause before we continue. Let us pause here. So far, we have learned something deeply human. Money decisions are emotional. Learning decisions are emotional. Your behavior matters more than how smart you are. Your story matters. Your pace matters. In the next part, we will explore luck versus skill, risk and uncertainty, why people repeat harmful decisions, and how patience shape long-term results. Stay with the journey. You are learning English not only for today, but for the person you are becoming. Part 2. Luck, Risk, and Why We Make Mistakes. In the first part of our journey, we learned that behavior matters more than intelligence. We learned that emotions, patience, and consistency shape long-term success. Now, we go one step deeper. To understand human behavior, we must talk about luck and risk. These two ideas quietly influence almost every decision we make in life. Luck and skill, a difficult truth. The author explains something honest and sometimes uncomfortable. Success is rarely the result of skill alone. Luck often plays a role. Luck means events that happen outside our control. Being born in a certain country, meeting the right person at the right time, having opportunities others never had. This does not mean skill is unimportant. It means success is a combination of skill and chance. Many people forget this. They look at successful people and think, if I do exactly what they did, I will get the same result. But life does not work like that. Why we misunderstand success. We often see only the winners. We do not see those who worked hard and failed, those who made the same choices but had bad timing, those who were unlucky. This creates a dangerous story. We start believing success means I am smart. Failure means I am stupid. But this story is not true. The author reminds us to be humble. Humility means understanding that not everything is in our control. This idea protects us from pride and from unnecessary shame. How this affects English learners. This idea is very important for learning English. Some learners have more time, have better teachers, live in English-speaking environments. Others do not. This is not your fault. If someone learns faster than you, it does not mean they are better. It means their situation is different. When you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. And when blame disappears, learning becomes calmer. Risk, the other side of success. Now, let us talk about risk. Risk means uncertainty. It means you cannot know the future completely. Every important decision includes risk. Saving money has risk, investing has risk, changing careers has risk, and learning English has risk too. The risk of making mistakes, the risk of sounding wrong, the risk of feeling embarrassed. Many people avoid risk, but avoiding risk often means avoiding growth. Why people make bad decisions under risk. The author explains that people often make bad decisions not because they are careless, but because they don't fully understand risk. They see success stories and forget that failure was also possible. They focus on outcomes instead of the process. This causes disappointment and fear. Fear makes people quit too early, take extreme actions, lose patience. The power of survival. One of the book's important ideas is survival. The author says, long-term success is about staying in the game. You do not need to win quickly. You need to not lose completely. Survival means avoiding big mistakes, protecting yourself from disaster, staying calm during hard times. This idea is simple but powerful. Survival and language learning. For English learners, survival means do not burn out. Do not quit because of one bad day. Do not expect perfection. You do not need to sound perfect today. You need to keep listening. One mistake does not end your journey. Quitting does. So the goal is not fast success. The goal is continuation. Emotions and decisions. Another important idea in the book is about emotion. People often think decisions are logical, But most decisions are emotional. Fear makes people sell too early. Excitement makes people take too much risk. Emotion is powerful. Ignoring emotion leads to mistakes. Understanding emotion leads to better behavior. Applying this to English practice. Think about how emotion affects your English. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of sounding wrong. These emotions cause people to avoid speaking, avoid listening, give up too early. But fear does not mean danger. It means growth is happening. When you accept fear calmly, it loses power. Controlling what you can control. The author teaches a very practical lesson. You cannot control outcomes. You can control behavior. You cannot control how fast others learn, when fluency comes. But you can control daily listening, consistent exposure, your attitude towards mistakes. This focus creates stability. Stability allows growth. A real-life example. Imagine two learners. One wants fast results. They study hard for a short time, then quit when progress feels slow. The other studies calmly. They listen a little every day. They accept mistakes. After 1 year, the second learner is stronger. Why? Because they survived the journey. A gentle transition forward. So far, we have learned success is influenced by luck. Risk is unavoidable. Emotions shape decisions. Survival matters more than speed. These ideas help us stay calm, patient, and consistent. In the next part, we will explore something hopeful and powerful. We will talk about time and patience, compounding growth, enough versus more, and how contentment creates confidence. This is where everything comes together. Stay with the journey. Your English is growing quietly, and quiet growth lasts. Part 3. Time, enough, and quiet confidence. As we continue, we now arrive at one of the most powerful ideas in the book. Time. Time is the silent force behind almost every success story. It works slowly, it works quietly, and it rewards patience more than talent. Many people underestimate time. They want results quickly. They want proof immediately. But time does not work that way. Time works best with consistency. The power of compounding. The author explains that small actions, repeated over time, grow into something much larger. This process is called compounding. Compounding means that growth builds on itself. A small improvement today helps tomorrow's improvement. Tomorrow's improvement helps the next one. At first, progress feels invisible. Later, it feels unstoppable. This idea is very important for life success, and it is equally important for learning English. Compounding and English learning. When you listen to English every day, even for a short time, something quiet happens. Your ear becomes familiar with sounds. Your brain recognizes patterns. Your understanding deepens naturally. You may not notice progress today. You may not notice progress next week. But after months, something changes. You understand without translating. You respond faster. You feel calmer. This is compounding at work. Why people give up too early? Many people stop just before growth becomes visible. They think, this is not working. But the truth is, it is working quietly. The book teaches us that patience is not passive. Patience is an active decision. It is the decision to continue even when results are not clear yet. This decision separates long-term success from short-term disappointment. The idea of enough. Now we come to a very human idea, the idea of enough. Many people believe happiness comes from more money, more success, more speed. But the book explains that knowing when you have enough is one of the most important skills in life. People who never feel enough often take unnecessary risks. They lose peace. Enough and English learning. This idea matters deeply for English learners. Some learners never feel satisfied. They say, "My accent is not perfect. My grammar is not perfect. My vocabulary is not enough." This thinking creates frustration. But fluency does not mean perfection. Fluency means communicating clearly, feeling confident, understanding and being understood. When you accept enough, confidence grows, and confidence improves fluency more than perfection ever will. Contentment and confidence. The author explains that contentment is not laziness. Contentment means appreciating progress without stopping growth. You can be proud of where you are and still want to improve. This balance creates stability. Stability creates confidence. Confidence allows you to speak. Long-term thinking. Another quiet lesson of the book is long-term thinking. Short-term thinking asks, what feels good now? Long-term thinking asks, what will help me later? This mindset changes behavior. In life, it leads to better decisions. In English learning, it leads to calm consistency. You stop rushing. You stop comparing. You stop panicking. You focus on the journey. A calm approach to mistakes. Mistakes are part of growth. The book reminds us that avoiding mistakes often means avoiding progress. In English learning, mistakes are not failure, they are feedback. Each mistake shows what you are learning, where you are growing. When you accept mistakes calmly, fear loses power. Staying in the game. Success is not about winning quickly. It is about staying in the game. For English learners, staying in the game means listening even when tired, continuing after a bad day, returning after a break. Consistency beats intensity, always. Putting everything together. Now, let us see the full picture. Behavior matters more than intelligence. Luck exists, but behavior matters more. Risk is part of growth. Time rewards patience. Enough creates peace. Consistency builds confidence. These ideas guide success in life, and they guide success in learning English. And now, my friends, we come to the end of our journey through the psychology of money. At the beginning, the language was simple and gentle. Step by step, it became richer, just like your English. You stayed with the ideas, you stayed patient, you listened, and by doing that, you practiced the most important skill of all, consistency. Remember this, you are not learning English for today only. You are learning English for your future self. Every minute you listen, every sentence you understand, every habit you build, it is shaping a calmer, stronger, more confident you. I'm John. This is English Lit Stories. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing patience. Thank you for choosing growth. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Your confidence is growing quietly, and quiet growth lasts.